Was The Mandalorian Episode 7 The Reckoning good? I'm your host, Ravi, joined by Krishna and Arjuna, my two brothers. We are also joined by Mercedes, a new and upcoming Star Wars fan.
Hello.
Whoa. That was good. That was like Pennywise. Hello. Or Winnie the Pooh type stuff.
We have a clown among us.
Arjuna? Arjuna? He's a clown?
Oh, I meant the one who went, hello.
And for those
But,
listening,
you know.
Mercedes is not a car. She is a human being.
Wow.
That was hilarious.
That was
Just
rough.
in case people were, confused.
What
I mean,
movie?
Yeah.
Why
gonna
would we
die
ever
tonight.
have like an inanimate object like on our... That's messed up.
We're pretty weird, so we might try like a weird thing like, I'm your host, Ravi, joined by my two brothers, Krishna and Ravi, and Arjuna.
Yeah, joined by himself. Yep.
And
See, it's
Pikachu.
not as easy as you think it is. Jeez.
It's easier.
Anyway, so we're talking Mandalorian Episode 7, the episode where a bunch of stormtroopers come out, raise guns, shoot into a target area, clearly fucking miss, but still kill everyone but the three main characters in that situation. Good episode. Podcast over.
Okay, bye.
Well, that's succinct.
As always, we're going to start with our one-word impression, which we use to recap the entire episode. Mercedes, you're the guest, so Arjuna will go first.
Oh, man.
Nice.
My one word is going to be inclusive.
Oh.
And I use that word because, spoiler alert, essentially the first 6 episodes all kind of come together in this one episode, and a lot of these little side quests, you could almost call them, that we've seen, all the elements that you've seen in some of these episodes come together in the penultimate episode of the season, and things are starting to make sense. You're starting to there's an understanding and there's a method to the madness of I think last week I went on about everything just seemed random. Like, it just seemed like we had all these standalone episodes that really didn't connect that well. And you see multiple returning characters come back together. You see the main conflict come into focus, and you're presented with an inclusive episode.
There you go.
That's kind of beautiful.
Thank you.
Just kidding. That was all right.
Wow.
Mercedes, now that he's gone, he's
Uh-huh.
the youngest,
Uh-huh.
so now you can go
'Kay.
as the guest.
My one word is void.
Whoa.
And I say that because I think for the first 20 minutes I said, this is pointless.
Oh, my God.
What's happening?
I mean, everything is pointless at the end of the day. We're all
Right.
just space
Space dust?
dust. Yes.
Yeah.
So wait, you felt yourself, it was so pointless, you were pulled into a void of non-existence.
No, like, when you write stuff on a piece of paper, you can get the void stamp. Like, I made a mistake, let's start again, but you don't want anyone to read it. Just void the whole thing.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's even worse than
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Damn.
No, because, okay, so I've watched you guys play the video games, the Star Wars one,
Yes.
and it feels like every episode is like, right, we're going to do a new challenge. This one's doing this. It's not
Right.
necessarily leading anywhere, but we have a new challenge today.
Yep.
Just scrap it. Leave it alone. We could have gone a week without it, and it would have all been fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit. Tough words. And she came out swinging.
I have a word to her word. It's just wrong.
Incorrect.
I have a word to your word.
I want to avoid her.
to her word.
Oh my God.
Mercedes. The car.
Oh, the inanimate
fucked up.
object. But you
Rip
have to
off.
remember, I'm not coming from I'm not coming from the same angle you guys are with
Totally.
being mega Star Wars fans. So
Sure.
I'm coming as an outsider, just saying.
I'm not a mega Star Wars fan.
Should
What
we-
gives
You
that
are
away?
coming. You are coming from the outside
should
because
we-
you are British and you're coming from England,
Right? What the fuck?
You said I'm
right?
foreign?
We have American accents. She has a British accent. Clearly an outsider.
Oh.
That's what you meant, right? You're an outsider. to
You
this
are
country.
where
Trump? What's happening?
Christian, you're where we were born in England, right?
What? I
Wait,
want the proof.
Wait, should we do what the typical online Star Wars fan does and trash Mercedes? Can just say that she's wrong and Star Wars
already
was
did that.
always meant to be
Why?
a war movie.
Why is that? Because she's a woman?
No, because we're just
Jesus Christ.
we're just talking about the toxic culture of Star Wars.
Right,
Well,
but those idiot Star Wars fans, their big thing was because
male.
yeah, just so silly. Christian, get us back on track with our one-word impression. What
Yes.
is your one-word impression?
My one word is in fact a number, and it's 501st. Which
That's
technically,
good.
Which technically is
That's
it's
good.
more-
I as a 501st,
yes.
non-really active, terrible member of that
Yeah.
organization, appreciate
That
that.
was a
Yeah.
weak flex. Like you tried to flex, but like
Yeah, you
like as a 501st
I as a
member,
member.
but I'm not really an active member. And
I'm just being honest.
I'm
I'm just because if any of them listen,
It's true.
I don't want them
They're
to
gonna
like
call you
start
out.
like calling me out on forums.
He
Yep.
did start out with big dick energy though, and just
Yeah, you too,
wavered.
yeah.
Well,
You-
this
you
is a
gotta go the other
family
way.
fucking friendly podcast, there,
Right.
right? No fucking dick words in here.
Jesus. Anyway, 501st is the word because back, I think, when we went to Star Wars Celebration,
Yep.
there was a panel with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and they told this real quick, interesting story about how on one of the episodes they had like a shortage of stormtroopers, and they were like rattling their brains. We're like, we don't have like enough people, and they were like, well, what do we do? They just called up the 501st Garrison, and they had a bunch of 501st with with the certified armor come over. They pay them probably like $20.
It's
not even.
no,
it's
probably
Legion.
more than
It's
that.
Legion approved armor, which is like the top of the line.
So better than 501st?
Well, it's 501st, but
Oh,
like
okay.
within the 501st, you have different tiers of level of armor.
Sure.
So like my armor back here, Bob, he's just straight up plastic, off of plastic injection molds. Their armor is fiberglass.
Holy, I want that armor.
Yeah, it's like legit.
Heavy? Is it heavy?
It's somewhat heavier type armor, but then it's also cut to each individual like person.
Wow.
That's pretty
You
cool.
can never lose or gain weight ever. again.
Yeah, otherwise you're
A lot of
screwed.
501st, with fun fact, a lot of 501st members, when they sadly either get into like health issues where either they are losing a lot of weight or they gain a lot of weight or whatever, they will part with their armor
Yeah.
because it is a huge investment and money suck.
Yeah.
If you're not using it, then get rid of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So.
But and so this episode was finally the episode where we saw that story come to fruition. We saw a shit ton of stormtroopers, and Ravi, I think, even said it while we were watching the episode. Oh, 501st. He's 501st. He's 501st. I think I might know who that is.
I think the funniest
Et cetera, et
thing
cetera.
during that panel was Favreau and Filoni said that the 501st members were pointing out inaccuracies that they had
Yeah.
on the armored people that weren't 501st members,
Yeah.
and they said it was actually very helpful.
Sure. They say helpful. Deep down, it's really annoying. I bet.
It
They're
is.
like, okay, you know what? Shut up. Let's
Yeah,
do our
because
job.
because when we were at Star Wars Celebration, I wore my it's not a 501st approved yet
Oh, yeah.
costume, and there were at least 3 people that came up to me and were just just pointed out inaccuracies, and you've never felt so small until like someone just rips on you and your costume at a convention.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and then we're talking about grown
Grown-ass men.
They're men. They're all men.
Yes.
And they were
Yeah.
older and in various states of
Decay.
decay. Yeah,
They're clearly
mental
from,
and physical.
They're clearly
man.
from a certain area of the country.
Yeah. No.
Yeehaw.
Oh well. Actually,
Moving on.
so Ravi, I guess we have to go to you.
Yeah, so as always, I'm never prepared for this segment because, why ever be prepared? So I'm just going to keep talking until something pops in my head, and healing is the word
Healing, nice.
I'm going to go
Nice.
with. And the main reason is because we actually see the child.
You could have also picked the word choke. There's two
No.
sides to a coin here.
A choke.
No, I didn't particularly.
Enjoy the choke.
No, I just. I just
This gonna be a kinky podcast. Hey, you like that
What?
choke?
Well, if
Well,
you've seen the
fuck.
episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
What the fuck? Anyway, healing, mostly because we finally see Baby Yoda, the child, actually heal Carl Weathers' character, whose name I can't remember because Grief Kargas.
Grief.
Injury from the flying dragon things. He was able to go touch him,
It's gonna eat me.
heal him pretty easily, and as we've all remember from episode 1, right? It was episode 1.
Episode 2. Episode
Wait,
2.
Episode, yeah, you're right. Episode 2 of The Mandalorian, where the child reaches out and tries to heal the Mandalorian. He's finally able to go and actually show what he can do. So beyond that, we know that this thing is obviously clearly somewhat powerful, can lift a giant rhino thing, can heal people, can force choke people. So
I just think it's really real quick, right? That's very interesting though that they highlighted two of the most extreme force
Yeah,
powers.
yeah.
Force choking is dark side as you can get, and literally healing something is as light side as you can get.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I don't think there's been a single force user on screen that I can think of in the
can do
movies or in live action stuff that can do both. Now, correct me if I'm wrong though. The Bindu, can the Bindu do both? Because the Bindu is totally force neutral. Remember from
I would
Rebels?
Rebels. I would assume that he can do that.
we don't actually see him use powers.
He
do we?
he only ever uses like psychedelic powers and
Psychedelics?
time
He's on a massive trip.
like
no?
time type things where he can like move to the next day or whatever.
Oh, right.
That's the only type of force things we see.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would point out is the child is still a child / baby, right? So his power may be all over the place, but remember he doesn't know right. Like he doesn't like as a baby you don't know right from wrong.
We're assuming
he's
a baby.
He's clearly more than like baby level intelligence because he recognized that Grief had an injury and was able to go up to him and heal him.
Yeah,
but
he's more like a cat.
well,
He's going off. He's.
I think
he's-
it's animal instinct,
Right.
though.
No. Well, he's a young
So
child,
it's
so
an
he
animal.
does like, for example, when the Mandalorian and Cara Dune were having the arm wrestling match. He didn't realize it was a friendly type of thing.
Right.
He thought the Mandalorian, which he sees as his protector or whatever, was in trouble because remember she's winning at that point. So he sees distress in someone he cares for, and he reacts by attacking that person. He didn't realize, much like a young child doesn't know how to differentiate between like extreme, complex emotions. The child is just going off basic whatever.
Right.
We also learned there's an interesting conversation right before that, I think, with the Mandalorian and what's his name? Nick Nolte's character, Quill. Where the Mandalorian says, I forget the exact wording he uses. He believes the baby is manufactured in a gene farm of some type, and Quill says, "No, I've worked in enough of these. This seems evolved, natural."
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what he means, right? Like
Right.
born and
So obviously that's no affirmation one way or the other, but it's just interesting because obviously a lot of people have been speculating: is this a clone? Is this a descendant? Is this a reincarnation? Is this did it just show up?
right.
We don't know.
Well,
And so it's just
I think
interesting.
it's interesting though because it confirms he's not a clone, right?
Well, I
He's
wouldn't-
not a genetic thing because
I wouldn't say it confirms it, but I think it wants it. The show is at least trying to lean you to think that this was a born baby.
Yeah, it's hinting towards that strongly.
Yes, but I would not say it confirms one way or the other because clearly these characters don't know. Like they don't even really know what like Quill starts to like hint that he knows what the Force is, but then him and Cara Dune start bickering about Republic and Imperials.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, why would if you're the show creator, why would you throw that line in there? If not to kind of not necessarily to confirm, but to kind of like steer everyone away from the idea that this could be a clone.
That's what they're at least trying to lead you to, but
Right.
Then it could reverse it and it is a clone. They at least what they're trying to make you believe is this is a natural baby.
Right.
But then obviously Moff Gideon at the end says, "There's much more to this child that you don't know, and you'll never understand because I'm the Chicken Man."
Wait, what?
He's a character from Breaking Bad. He's a drug lord of Mexican descent. And
Gus
he
Fring.
He owns a chain of chicken
El
restaurants.
Polo Hermanos.
El Perlo Hermanos, and that's the front for,
Crystal
doing
meth.
his crystal meth trade.
The Chicken Brothers.
That's what the restaurant's
Yeah.
called.
He killed. By the way, the person that he opened the restaurant with, his quote unquote brother. It wasn't really his brother, but they were the Chicken Brothers. He had him killed.
Fun fact. Cool.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you.
That's why he's the Chicken Man. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And by the way, in that show, he is terrifying. He's really good.
And the actor's name is Giancarlo Esposito.
So he's playing obviously a character called Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's actually jump into Moff Gideon because he was interesting in the sense that we finally see him after being teased since Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
We finally see him. We see some awesome-ass Death Troopers. And interestingly enough with Moff Gideon is his outfit. It is the internet has already kind of said, oh, it's very.
Wow.
It is
Wow.
very
Whoa.
good. Very, very good.
Very good. Oh, yes. The internet has already kind of responded to his outfit saying, oh, it seems kind of very Vader-esque. Specifically where he's got a cape.
Yeah.
He's got a armored chest piece. He's got armored shoulder pads, which if you look at like Vader's outfit,
Sure.
same idea. The only thing that's kind of missing is a helmet.
And the
then-
robot.
and the
limbs.
robotic pieces.
well, we
and
don't.
the,
Well,
and the laser sword.
well, we don't know.
and the force.
Have you seen him? Well,
And
okay.
being 7 feet
Okay,
tall.
hold on. So,
And being a Darth.
hold on. So the force part is interesting because EliteDaily.com came up with an article a couple hours ago, and they are suggesting that obviously we don't know anything about Gideon, and we may not know anything even after next week. But they're suggesting that Gideon may be force sensitive.
Why?
If he is, that'd be dumb.
And the reason they say that is because Gideon reached out to his subordinate, the client,
The other.
and he said, "Yo, bro, you ain't got the baby, right?
You ain't got
How
no baby.
would he know? Because remember, his what are they called? His scout troopers
Yeah.
didn't pick up on the transmission
Till after.
after that whole thing. So how would he know that the baby wasn't in that thing?
That's a good point.
Unless he's got a fog, like a tracking thing, and he's tracking
that's
the
true.
baby,
He
and
might
he
be.
knows the baby's coming towards him because of, the beeping. It's just beeping faster.
Maybe, maybe not.
I think it'd be dumb if he's force sensitive. Like
Well,
I'm not saying-
really.
Only
Because
if that's a good reason, sure.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I agree with Juno though. It'd be dumb if he's force sensitive.
But we have
Well, yeah,
force
it makes
sensitive
more
folks
sense, though.
in the. We have force sensitive folks in the Empire. We have the entire
Like who?
Inquisitor group.
So
Ing.
he's
Yeah,
on
but the-
Inquisitor.
And we have the
He's a-
Seven
he's
Sisters.
a
the
grand. He's a
Empire
grand
is also
moff.
in shatters at this point. It's not organized or any type of. What
Yeah, but
Whatever.
you don't know.
do you mean you don't know?
You don't know. I think it would be an interesting layer.
Yeah, well, if it's
And
if
he
it's
also
done well.
knows
If it's done
so
well.
much about the child as well. Like
If
he
it's done well.
knows.
Yeah,
that is
I'm
all
not.
that.
It's not for or against. We have to see how it plays out, right?
I'm against it.
Last part I want to make about Grand
Moff Tarkin,
Moff
Gideon,
Moff.
Gideon.
He's not a grand Moff. He's just a Moff.
is his
Wow.
TIE pilot. Is his
his
TIE fighter.
I want that. Like
Pretty cool design,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The wings.
The
kind
wings
of
just-
folded
Um,
outward.
Which I thought was
I
dope.
could have used that on the Battle of Endor, if you know what I mean.
No.
No, I don't.
Explain that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe it's more powerful, and like they lost. So like if the Empire had those, why didn't they show up?
Yeah,
Also,
no.
why didn't they have Death Troopers on Endor? Just saying.
Well, the Death Trooper part is a plot hole for sure.
Yes.
It's almost like they create them after that movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Actually,
Amazing.
technically,
There's Rogue One. If they exist in Rogue One, they would have
Yeah.
existed on Endor, and they didn't.
They should have been there.
So,
They should have showed up in a lot more instances.
but yeah, I mean, they're probably going to use the Death Trooper as like this super rare commando elite unit, right? Where they've only shown up under certain high up Imperial guys.
Sure.
So
You don't think they would have wanted that on Endor?
there were no high up Imperial guys.
why are you bringing up an argument from literally like
Because I want my cake
4
and I
years
want to
ago?
eat it too.
Wow.
wow.
Oh my God.
So Mercedes, you kind of started this podcast off pretty hot with your void comment, and you specified that like the first 20 minutes. Did it get better for you? Did it get worse for you?
It got better.
Uh-huh.
So I think the epitome of the badness happened at 20 minutes, and then there were guns. Oh no, it was the pterodactyl things that came, and I was like, oh, death,
The
something's
dinosaurs.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever those creatures were, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is a bit more exciting now. But that was literally it.
That was it.
That was it.
Interesting.
I was offended.
But I'm still confused though because the entire series so far has been kind of just build up.
This
No,
was a
this
big
was
payoff.
Very little.
This was a big payoff.
Really?
Yeah.
Which part?
I think the part of bringing back characters you had seen before, of putting them together, of going back to Navarro. Now we have a name for the planet, Navarro, confronting the client and the stormtroopers. That's the main conflict of this show has been the Mandalorian with the child on the run from the Empire because of what he did in the first few episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the conflict that's centered around getting the child, delivering it to the Empire, running from the Empire. Now he's going back to confront the Empire, and he's bringing along the characters that he has met through his travels. And and he's a changed Mandalorian at this point too,
So
right?
let's bring the Teen Titans in because I fell in love on the way and met a best friend and got some pals with me, and now I'm ready to fight. That's what it feels like to me.
And that's essentially what it is. It's
Yeah.
exactly what
But
it is.
but that's what they've been building up to.
But then that's every
That's
story,
what the
though.
show. Well, but the show. I mean, no offense to the show, it hasn't pretended to be anything super unique. Nothing about the show has been like, we're gonna show you something
You've never seen
completely no. Like I think they're honestly trying to tell a very simple story in a universe you're very familiar with, and it's trying to show you a different corner of it.
So
which
I
think they've
had
done.
an interesting conversation with a future guest actually who'll be here for our Rise of Skywalker podcast.
I did not approve this character.
And
His name is Mr. Schwab.
he actually brought up something really, really interesting when you compare the original trilogy to the new trilogy.
Yeah.
And if we can all try our hardest, and I know it's kind of hard because there's so much backstory and other things that we've learned about Star Wars in the time since we probably all saw Episode 4. But if you can imagine for a second, in 1978, you see Star Wars for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what the hell the fucking Force is. You don't know what the fucking Empire is. You don't know what Tatooine is. You don't know what a Jawa is or a Tusken. You know nothing.
Yeah.
And you sit down and you watch this movie. The first 20 minutes of Episode 4 are two droids running around in a fucking desert planet
After
with all
the
this,
space battle.
After a space battle
Yeah.
with all this weird shit going on,
Yeah.
right? And then you're introduced to Luke, and then everything is very, very super small and contained
Self-contained,
and
yeah.
self-contained.
Sure.
And the new movies, unfortunately, they have so much content and shit to work with, right? It's not just a story.
Grand.
It's not just a story of Rey. It's like, what is Tom, Dick, and Harry doing? And
Yeah.
and where's Tom's uncle and Dick's dick and Harry's Haruga? Like, where are all these other elements, right? So there's
Yeah.
so much stuff.
Sure.
Interestingly enough, with The Mandalorian, I don't understand how they did it, but The Mandalorian is a very simple, very focused show, right? It's
I'll tell you how
this
they did it.
guy and this thing,
Yeah.
and that's it.
We know exactly how they do it. None of the characters know anything. They
Oh,
don't
there we
even
go.
know what the Force is. We're not, we don't know anything about the planets that we're introduced to until relevant information comes up with those characters, right? Much like Episode 4, 5, and 6, right? Whereas, like you said, the new movies, everything has to have a history, a backstory. We have to know the past, the present, and the future about everything, right? So, but you're right though. I think that's why I think The Mandalorian, at least for me, has hit so hard. It's because it reminds me so much of the original trilogy, and that it's very simple.
Well, and
Very simple.
Well, what's interesting, like if you go specifically with the Episode 4 analogy, right, where it is very self-contained, it is a very simple type of story that really opens you because your protagonist is Luke, who knows literally nothing. Like,
He's an idiot.
he's
He's a country bumpkin.
he's like
Literally.
that's Luke.
I
want to go to a talking station. Oh my god.
But he knows nothing, right?
Yeah.
Movies and media reflect what is popular and what works in that time. So like 1978, that was the type of cinema you consumed, right? Those types of like kind of self-contained simple movies where everything was a lot of exposition and
Simple movies for simple people.
but like compared
No,
to
I know what you mean.
but compared to movies now in like
Yeah.
2000, 2000 and what is it, 19, right?
Did you just forget what fucking year it was?
So it's almost 2020.
It's just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up. But like even like go back and watch a movie like The Avengers, and you'll be like, oh my god, this movie's so slow,
It is slow.
right? But
Pacing is
but it
terrible
wasn't
on it.
slow in 2012.
It kind of was.
It
I
wasn't-
remember talking to my friend being like, the movie's actually not that
Christian,
good
don't
until-
lie. You don't have any friends.
You're right.
Dan's
an
not
acquaintance.
really your friend.
But what
And
I'm
it was
saying,
actually a different Dan that we had that conversation.
but what I'm saying is that like with specific tastes and stuff, like the sequel trilogy had to be this big, epic, fast-paced type of grand piece of cinema to kind of keep up with the audience and the time, which is why it feels different from the original trilogy.
I don't know. I disagree slightly just because we have good examples of movies that aren't fast-paced and don't have to cram in a lot.
Blockbuster
that
movies?
are still Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's a good
That's
example.
not a
That's not a
that's not a
blockbuster.
blockbuster movie.
What?
No.
What?
A blockbuster movie is like a franchise, right? Like
Sure.
it's also a PG-13 movie.
like that's a Quentin Tarantino rated R movie.
Oh, I
yeah,
see what
that's
you're
not blockbuster,
Right.
By any means.
Fine.
So
So shoot me.
a blockbuster's like Avenger, any of the Marvel movies, any of the DC movies,
Sure.
Star Wars, Lord of the
Independence
Rings.
Day 2.
right.
No, that's just shit.
Nope, that's considered a blockbuster.
No,
It
we know.
failed.
No,
we
I
know.
know.
We know.
Yeah, but it's shit. And
Yeah.
because they didn't even know what they were making. But so what I'm saying is that's
They The
I
expectations
think
are
part
different.
of the reason it feels different with The Mandalorian being on streaming, you can kind of create it differently. And obviously they've pulled from westerns, and westerns are notoriously slow, right?
Yeah.
And they're notoriously super focused and very intentional.
Mm.
And you see that throughout these episodes. And this episode in particular, again, feels like a western because it is all of these loose elements coming together into this final conflict. So they really are fulfilling what they wanted to do with the western influence, for sure.
Continuing on with the sequel trilogy, one of the big things for the release of this was they didn't obviously want Disney did not want their properties to cannibalize each other, so they released obviously The Mandalorian 2 days early than their usual release of a Friday, and included in this to do cross marketing, they added a sneak peek to episode 9. What is everyone's initial gut reaction? Mercedes, let's hear yours first.
I think I've seen. This is really bad. You're gonna hate me. I think I've seen one of the trailers and not all of them.
That's fine.
And I kind of looked at the sneak peek and went, because you asked me before, like, do you want to see it? And I was like, yeah, sure, it's fine. And I went, looked at it and thought, same. Have I seen this before? Yeah, oh, look, exciting, really excited for it. But am I seeing anything different?
I mean, they show 45 seconds of, I think, what we can assume is a scene from the movie.
Oh, the
Actual movie.
pow shooty things, yeah.
And then they show a little supercut of pretty
Highlight
much,
reel, basically.
basically scenes we've seen in other trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was good, but yeah, same.
Yeah. I thought,
Why?
For mostly the same reason. It's gonna be a lot of really fast-paced action that you're not really emotionally invested in because you're not. The move's gonna move real quick from scene to scene, shot to shot. I think it's gonna be very surface level acting. It's gonna be surface level writing once again. I think we're gonna get like some amazing like visual, stimulating up the wazoo stuff like we've always received, but it's gonna be. For me, it was like but like June said, it's 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I
'Cause
wasn't impressed.
I mean, even those high impact shotty bits, they were making light of it. It was all a bit of a joke. Like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot this, and let's do this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
woo-hoo.
They're not.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a life and death situation,
Yeah.
and they're making fun of it. I'm like, I'm not scared.
It
We already
didn't-
know how this is gonna go. Where's the tension? There is none.
It felt like there was no actual stakes, but once
Yeah.
again, it's a 45-second
Sure.
clip.
Yep.
Sure.
So who knows? Maybe someone had just died in the scene before, and
Or maybe it's a fake trailer.
Oh,
Maybe
so-
the scene doesn't even exist.
I heard that they're showing different movies at every theater.
Oh, wow, that would be
They actually
next
asked
level.
the staff of each movie theater to make their own version of Star Wars. And
Somehow,
that's the movie.
but that's the thing, though. Like, if that actually happened,
That'd be a great.
that would be
experiment.
great. That
But-
would. I feel like that potentially could be really, really cool and interesting.
They won't do it for this one.
They'll
That'll come down the line when people get so bored of blockbusters. They're like, we gotta come up with a really cool idea to trick
Spice
the
it up,
audience,
guys.
and that's
Yeah.
all they'll do.
Do you guys remember X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Yes,
I never
sadly.
saw it.
It was really
When
bad.
it came out in theaters, so X-Men was the first superhero movie to have the after credit scene with X-Men 3: The Last Stand.
It was.
Yes. And then the next movie that came out was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Well, I thought Iron Man was the first movie.
No, X-Men: The Last Stand came out 2 years before Iron Man did.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay.
And that was the first one, and then the Marvel MCU copied it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, "Oh, it was the MCU that started." It's like, nope,
Yeah.
X-Men did it first.
Interesting.
But X-Men Origins Wolverine was the next X-Men movie to come out, and they wanted to up it from doing an after credit scene. So at different theaters, there was 3 different after credit scenes, and it was randomly associated with any theater. So whatever theater you were, you got one of the 3 after credit scenes.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
amazing.
With
Yeah.
the
Never heard
with the
about it.
movie. Yeah. Well,
I
it's
never
because the
saw it.
movie was terrible. Like it was
God
it was
awful.
garbage.
So what did you think about the sneak peek for
You
episode
know,
9?
It just reminded me of a J.J. Abrams movie, and I don't mean that in a good way because J.J.
Oh man. Lens flares.
No, he's a blockbuster director where he knows where to he knows how to put in the glory shots, he knows how to where to put the action scenes in and everything that's gonna sell tickets, and it looks great, and it's a popcorn eating type of movie, and you're like, yeah, this is a fun ride, but
Oh my
it's
God.
like, is it a good movie? I don't know.
Technically, it's good.
Technically,
But-
yeah.
But
Like, is it a cohesive story? Is it one that you're invested in? Is it, is it this, and this? For me, J.J. Abrams movies always feels like they're missing the emotionally important scenes for, a cheap laugh, the cheap, like, woohoo, or, like, the cheap, like, yeah, this action sequence.
the rah-rah.
Looks really cool versus, and I just think he loses some of the human elements that make a good movie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this sneak peek looked like to me. I was like,
Oh no! Here we go. But it's 45 seconds. Who knows?
I was like, where's Benedict Cumberbatch?
How long is
No.
this movie supposed to be?
2 hours and 22 minutes,
Ooh, 222, the sign of the twos.
according to the AMC app.
Wow. What'd you think?
He canceled his ticket.
Yeah.
Rage
Wow! Holy shit!
I'm trying this whole thing where if
You've
we
tried
go,
this before.
I've tried this before, but let's be honest here. Like Rogue One really did it in for me.
Yeah.
Whereas like
destroyed
the expectations were so fucking high,
it. Yeah.
right? Like after seeing episode 7, I was just like, they can do no wrong. It's just been miss after miss after miss.
But you didn't like episode 7 that much.
Episode 7 I didn't like.
You hated episode 7.
I thought
Oh,
he,
wait,
didn't,
wait.
he didn't hate.
Oh,
I
it.
didn't-
I'm sorry.
didn't
Episode
hate
8
it.
you hated.
Episode 8 is I tried watching it again the other night, and I literally turned it on. I was like, I'm just gonna watch YouTube videos because that seems way more entertaining to me than watching this crap again.
Honestly, if you cut out the whole casino sequence, it's probably one of the best Star Wars.
But the
movies.
problem is the casino scene is still in there, and I know it's coming, and it's like weird PTSD.
You're
where
like
I'm just
No.
No. Here's the thing. If George Lucas had directed it, we would get 8 different cuts of the same movie, with like all these different
yeah,
configurations.
but at the very least, he would have tried to like fix the mistake of the casino scene.
and then he would have kept fixing it until
he died.
deleted.
Greedo says McClunky for some reason.
But no, after seeing it, it's a forgettable throwaway scene. It's like cool, they're flying the Millennium Falcon, they're shooting things, woohoo! Saw this in 7, saw this in 8. Nothing seems that interesting to me.
You've seen it in every single Star Wars movie ever made.
No, not in episode 1, 2, or 3. Is there a Millennium Falcon shooting type?
You have ships
fighters.
shooting other ships.
Yeah, but I said specifically the Millennium Falcon shooting TIE
But so
fighters.
you know,
so,
and
like, please get on my level,
to
bro.
piggyback off what you just said, it's fan service, right? So this scene literally just puts Poe flying the Millennium Falcon because
Supposed to be the Han Solo like.
because you've already had Finn do it. You've already had Rey.
When did
fly
Finn
it.
actually fly it?
He flew it for briefly when they were on Jakku in episode 7.
That's right, and she was the gunner. That's
Yeah.
right.
No, he is the gunner at one point, but he flies it briefly, I believe.
Does he? I don't remember that
I
at
think
all.
he does.
I don't remember. I might have to
No,
rewatch
no,
these
you're
movies
wrong.
tomorrow
You're wrong.
before
You're
we
wrong.
see this.
Finn and Rey were gunners. Han and Chewie were flying it on Jakku. No, now I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
I literally can't remember because I just don't care.
Jakku.
In Star Tours, Finn is flying the Falcon on Jakku.
Okay, so then maybe you're right because Han and Chewie don't pick them up from Jakku until they're physically off Jakku.
Off Jakku, yeah, they're not.
Then they take over. So yeah, you're right. So one of them has to be flying. She's definitely in the gunner seat. So he was flying, and then she's flying it in episode 8.
She does fly it because she does that maneuver.
No, she flies the whole time.
I don't know if she
What are you
flies the whole.
Finn never flies the Millennium Falcon. I don't know where you're going.
I mean, we could just Google this.
Yeah.
So to kind of recap it, Rise of Skywalker sneak peek. I personally don't think we needed it.
No.
It doesn't do anything. I get it's a marketing thing, and Mercedes, your background is obviously in marketing. I mean, clearly that is something you evil people would have done.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, hey guys, remember we have this thing tomorrow. This is the whole reason why we're doing 2 days early. Remember, go get your tickets.
Well, I actually have a question. As you're an expert in marketing, do you think it's like a almost because to me, from my outside non-marketing perspective, it seems like a desperate move to just keep adding more and more of these teasers. For like to me, it's a movie we already know if it's coming. If you're confident in the product, why do you keep showing more and more footage of it? Like to me, it seems like they're worried.
Yeah.
Is that what it kind of seems like?
Yeah, because I think, especially with the Mandalorian stuff, they're trying to capture all of the non-Star Wars fans. So by putting it out in all these different types of mediums in every single platform and way possible, it's just like, okay, there's that one person that's in the corner that maybe hasn't seen what everyone else has seen.
Right.
Let's just shove it down their throat to make sure that they're on the same bandwagon. Just keep the conversation going. Because people, whether you like it or not, same with what we're doing now. We'll talk about it and say, "Oh, did you see that sneak peek? Yeah, I did." And even if you did it, you'll then try and go back and watch it
Right.
and say it was either trash or it was great, but you'd still have an opinion either way.
But it almost seems like overkill because just this week alone, Sunday, during the NFL football games, you had a sneak peek. They released exclusive things on Star Wars Battlefront. They released exclusive things on Fortnite. You have this teaser for Mandalorian. Just in the last 4 days alone,
Yeah.
like it just seems overkill.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I just looked at the App Store on my phone, and then the Fortnite thing came up, and you saw Ray come up on it. And I was just like, oh, look, there it is again.
Yeah.
Constant reminder.
There's in my face. Let's move into like the nitty gritties of the episode.
Did you say nitty gritties?
Nitty gritties.
Gritty?
What's
Okay.
happening to you?
So Nick Nolte's character, whose
Quill.
name we learned in this episode, Quill, is tragically shot.
Why did we think his name was Hooli?
That's what for some reason I thought I read somewhere.
Hooli? Are you
H-U-L-L-I.
Are you like from like a
No, not from. Actually, maybe I actually started watching
from Silicon Valley? Like
Maybe I actually started watching Silicon Valley. Maybe like rewatching it right at the start. So that's hilarious.
So Quill is unfortunately tragically killed.
Wait,
and
what?
And I can confirm if you guys want me to spoil it.
He's spoken for the last
Do you want me to
time.
spoil it?
Spoil what?
Like
Yeah.
his fate.
He's dead.
He's dead because
We know that.
I unfortunately pulled up IMDb and it shows him as 3 episodes.
Yeah,
So.
we know he's dead.
IMDb is not always the most accurate, though. Just to let you know.
Okay, now the cat's playing with the stupid toy.
Good timing.
Shouldn't
Paul.
be involved.
I'm saying he's just like Baby Yoda. Like Baby Yoda's trying to play with the ball on the ship. This fucking cat.
I
same
genuinely
thing.
didn't think he was shot, though.
He was smoking in the back.
Right, so I never noticed that because remember I said, "Oh, did he have a heart attack?" Because when he was because when he was running on the little dinosaur dragon thing, he was panting, and I was just like, "Oh, he's really stressed. He's these people behind him." So then the next shot, they would swooped up the baby and was on the floor. I was like, "Oh, he collapsed and fell because he's old. He just died."
That is hilarious.
That's what I thought.
I love it.
Let
love
me
it.
just
Kinda like that,
wait,
so-
hold on. Let me just preface.
what-
to our
Cholesterol is too
Let me just
high.
preface to our audience. We're watching this on a 65-inch television screen.
It's not big
right?
enough.
4K. 4K.
4K.
today,
It's
so-
not big enough.
When they show the frame of him dead, there's at least half of that fucking screen with smoke on it, and you didn't notice.
In Mercedes' defense, she was the furthest back, and the TV's not big enough. We need a bigger one.
No,
Yeah.
in
We need a
Mercedes'
90-inch
not
TV.
defense, she's clearly an unobservant observer.
It could have been space dust. It doesn't necessarily have to be smoke.
True. The part of
It's
the
a
area
dusty
that,
planet.
the part of the planet that they're on is volcanic. So
Aha, see, haha,
who
win.
knows? I mean, I'm more impressed that scout troopers on speeder bikes were able to hit fucking anything. So
That's a good
if
point.
this is the case, then let's just give them. Come on, seriously, clap for the scout
Can we
troopers,
give him a
guys.
slow clap?
Like seriously, they
it would have been
they
better.
hit something.
It would have been better
No?
if Quill
No?
was in
Okay.
two pieces because they had run him over.
That's so fucked up.
It's more believable.
It's a
The
kid
fact,
show.
the fact
family
that
show
you,
still.
the fact that you don't believe it
It's a kid show
because they
bro.
can't hit shit.
I honestly thought IG-11 was going to come out and save the day.
I thought so too. That, which is, by the way, yeah, you're gonna
So
get
what
to
did we think of like IG-11 coming back to life, being Quill's like
Hated it.
slave?
I will
you
say-
hated it.
Oh my god! I thought the montage of him being rehabilitated was fucking
one of the funniest things I've ever
hilarious.
seen. Yeah.
Just
No.
like trying to pick up the cup, crushes the little lizard.
Just the scene
Putting the
when
food-
when Quill's holding his head like it's his son. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring you
That
back
was
to life.
hilarious. Yeah, I thought it was great. I
It's
thought it was like,
Frankenstein.
I thought it was great. Like it was a great montage moment. You know, it was just like this is great.
No,
You know,
it was
I
the
always
worst.
love a good montage.
It was like little Pinocchio and what's his name, Giuseppe. It's like, I'm a real boy. Look, no. Offering him tea and no, kill something. Please kill something.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, but Quill though is like a peaceful creature.
He's no one's slave or
He's
servitude or anything.
we haven't seen him harm a thing in this.
What did we
whole-
think of
Yeah.
What did we think of the revelation that he was like an indentured servant for the Empire?
Mm.
That was quite the reveal.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense from the first time we saw him when he was like, even the first or second episode when Mandalorian's like, you know, I could use a gun like you, and he's like, nah, I've seen too much, I've done too much. I'm like, that
Too
time's
much
over.
trauma. Yeah.
And so that explanation to me like makes perfect sense.
I really liked it though, especially with a character like Cara Dune, because, you know, especially in that original trilogy, you know, Empire bad, evil, you know, rebels good,
Yeah.
you know, and you're seeing like gray. This show's all about the Greys,
Yeah.
right? Even though Quill was part of the Empire, you could say of that crew, he's the most good.
Yeah.
And Cara Dune, even though she was part of the Republic and a shock trooper, she's not she's not the best of best moral character out there. So I just thought, and it was interesting that they had a conflict with each other. But
Yeah. I actually like that.
yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
a great illustration of the world that they're trying to portray.
Yeah. So despite all of their differences, they're still all coming together for a greater good, whatever that is.
Mercedes, how would you feel about the IG-11 thing if he actually does still have, if Quill programmed the killer, he still has his killer instinct, but it is to protect.
Yeah.
How would you feel better about it, or?
So from the very beginning, we've been told that the Mandalorian hates droids.
Yeah.
Right? And being the Mandalorian, he's supposed to be this massive, strong character. And if he hates droids, in my opinion, I was like, oh, okay, we also hate droids. So I almost wanted him to be proven right and give him a reason why he hates them, because, time after time, especially in the episode before, it's like, oh no, droids aren't that bad. Look, they're trying to help you fix your ship and they're doing whatever. And I thought, oh, okay, they're kind of good, but I don't really want them to be good. So I just wanted him to be proven right, or for him to have a justified reason to hate them.
Interesting. Okay. So you're just sort of pulling from the Mandalorian's perspective.
Yeah.
Like, okay, oh, that's interesting. Cool. I'm sure it'll get more nuance or more.
Murder everybody.
Yeah, it'll get more.
Well,
crazy
remember,
as it
like
goes on.
Quill said, he is the IG-11 unit can protect him.
It's totally neutral as well. Like,
Well, but remember though, like he probably saw his master or whatever just get gunned down by these scout troopers.
didn't do anything.
I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes berserk and starts shooting anything that's wearing a white armored suit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like if I had to get if we want to jump into theories for the next episode, I'm going to assume it's IG-11 in that ship that's going
to
come bolting in and blowing everyone to Kingdom Come.
Yeah, right. That's a great prediction.
That's my prediction.
We might as well do predictions.
I think we should have a moment of silence for the best character who died in this episode. No, he was the second best character that died. The first best character that I can speak well English, by the way. The best character who died in this episode was the client.
Herzog?
Rest in peace. He had some great lines in this episode.
Every line he ever spoke was great because it was delivered with such unnecessary intensity.
I am the German.
My
best
favorite. Sleep. We will be quiet.
No,
The
my
best
favorite.
part, best part. Best part is he's talking about how the Mandalorian should just
Yeah.
sucked it up and joined the Empire, and then he goes, "I want to see the baby."
Without pausing,
Yeah.
he's like, and the Mandalorians would be better with this. Show me the baby.
It's like, wait, what?
And it's
What
like,
are you talking about?
And Conrad is like, the baby is sleeping. We will be quiet.
And then when he answers the transmission, he's like, "We have the baby. It is sleeping."
Can we real quick? The actor that plays
Werner
that character,
Herzog?
yeah,
Who's not he's a director.
right, he's a director, but
Oh
you are
my
aware
God.
though. You are aware he is a father, right? He has kids.
Yeah.
Which means he probably has grandkids.
Right.
Which means
The character?
no, the actor.
Oh right.
Which means then that entire sequence of "we will be quiet" has happened in real life. Where his kids are like, "Oh, the kid's sleeping. It's okay. We will be quiet."
The baby.
That's
have the
horrifying.
How do we know he has kids and grandkids?
It says it on IMDb.
Oh,
IMDb.
interesting.
But he is German, so he probably doesn't say it in English.
Probably not.
Probably
Well,
says
I would hope
German.
so.
Yeah.
So he's gone. Rest in peace. And
He
then,
was good.
what do we think of Moff Gideon completely gunning down other stormtroopers?
They failed.
They failed.
They failed him. So their job was to go and find this baby thing. And
I think it's different.
What do you think it is then?
So the stormtroopers he gunned down have been on Navarro for a while. They're all
Right.
dirty. His stormtroopers are bright, shiny, and clean,
fresh.
which tells me his stormtroopers are loyal to him. Remember, the Empire is literally fragmented, which means you have multiple warlords. Warlords.
Everyone's been great
And
at
Moffs.
pronunciations today.
And Moffs and, people like fighting over their,
Shit.
their territory and, their stuff. And that's taken directly from Expanded Universe. Expanded Universe is exactly what happens. So he wasn't gunning down other stormtroopers. He was gunning down
the competition.
competent. Yeah, exactly. He was like, exactly.
I agree.
But
They were-
how is it competition though? Because the client gets the call from Moff Gideon, and he's clearly responding to him, which means he's a subordinate to him.
Not necessarily. You don't know that. Yeah, he's
The
probably,
articles on the internet say that he's a subordinate.
so, but those stormtroopers are probably loyal to him, and also Moff Gideon seems like he's just
A dick.
But
like,
he's-
let's go. We got to get stuff done.
He seems a bit more like a bad bitch because all of those stormtroopers, as you said, were very clean and nice and whatever. And the first shot that you got when you came in was they was leaning up on things and looking very relaxed and a bit shoddy, and no one really cared. And it's like, you guys are trash. Just go away.
And his stormtroopers were like,
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit confused. During the transmission,
yeah.
Moff Gideon looks like he is standing.
Oh, for the love of God, are you serious?
I'm just This is
This is what you're pointing out?
It appears he is
Oh
standing.
my God.
But he comes and lands in a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Which you would sit in.
The TIE fighter has standing room. Easy. Done. End of story.
Unless, here's my theory, he's coming from a Star Destroyer.
No, baby.
That quickly? Yeah, maybe.
Actually, I mean,
That's
could
my
get
theory.
down. He could get down that cheap.
Is that your prediction? Write it.
No, it's not my prediction. It's just
It's
no.
a good prediction.
It's a theory that
What?
he has a Star
Say,
Destroyer.
put a
above-
prediction that we're going to see a Star Destroyer. That's a great
fucking,
prediction.
that's
That's
the
a great
thing.
prediction.
But that's crazy because this is 5 years after the fall of the Empire. Fucking Star
There's-
Destroyer running around.
that-
What the fuck?
They didn't destroy every Star Destroyer.
No, but a lot of them were told go to the deep space. Like we're in episode 9, we're going to see a lot of Star Destroyers.
when is this? What are you drawing from here? What media?
Battlefront 2.
Okay, so a lot
When
of what?
they did
Star
the-
Destroyers.
A lot of the Imperial
That
forces.
doesn't mean they can't come back.
Yes, it does.
Why? Why does it mean they can't come back? Also,
I'm
not,
petting my cat.
and also not all of them would have gone. And also, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Star Destroyer. It could just also be just a bigger ship in space, right?
There's always a bigger fish.
Like a
No, so in episode 8 of The Mandalorian, when we see it next week, they ran out of budget, so you see this gigantic thing, and it's just like titled "Bigger Ship."
Why did your brain go there?
Wait, but,
don't know.
before we make more predictions, do we want to revisit our episode 7
Yes,
predictions?
let's look at episode
Because
7 predictions.
some of us were correct, while
Oh.
others... Actually, maybe all of us were correct.
So we'll start with Christian because he's old. So for episode 7, the current episode right now, Christian predicted that there would be a personal revenge story. How is he correct?
You
Yeah, I don't
could
see it.
argue he is potentially slightly correct because the original plan was for them to personally portray Mando.
Moving on. So for me,
And it was a revenge story.
so
And he
for-
was going to kill the client who wanted to kill the baby. It's kind of a revenge.
It's not.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
I'm half right.
no.
It's
I
the
get a
most-
half a point.
I would
Give me
say
half
it's
a
the
point.
most right he's been all season.
That is true.
I was
Thank you.
I was completely right because I said Giancarlo would show up. So
You just
I was
steal other
right.
people's predictions.
Doesn't matter.
You
You
have
got-
no original
Christian
ideas.
could have pulled that and he didn't. So
Ravi, I'm gonna read through your predictions real quick.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Mercedes, tell me what you think of these predictions. I'm just gonna read them. Episode 3, we will be disappointed. Episode 4, Gina Carano is introduced and her character is a
That was
big
stolen
talking point.
by
no,
me.
No, we're not gonna go there, right? Episode 5, Giancarlo will eat some kind of chicken. Episode 6 will take place on a brighter, more alive planet. Episode 7, Giancarlo will show up. The most boring, pedestrian safe predictions I have ever heard in my life. Ravi, we're trying to get viewers. Don't
Just
put them to
leave.
sleep. We're crying out loud. God damn.
moving on, Arjuna's prediction was we'll see Gina Carano character return, which we were. That was right.
I was
Yeah.
right on
That
the
was
dot.
on the-
And,
on the nose,
and my
yeah.
season prediction was correct. The Mandalorian had a crew.
Yep, he had a
Yeah.
crew for a minute.
Yeah.
So you were right. So speaking, so for episode 8, my prediction is IG-11 comes guns a-blazing. Arjuna looks like a Star Destroyer will show up as yours. Christian, what's your prediction?
Let's go to Mercedes first. Mercedes, what's your...
Is this the last one?
This is the last episode for the season.
You can also, yeah.
Oh, right.
So,
Ooh.
the Mandalorian in a fight. So the IG-11, Instagram 11
Yep.
creature goes buck wild and tries to attack Mandalorian because he's like, you shot me, I hate your face. And then Mandalorian is gravely injured and Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda just fucks everything up, destroys things, uses that force and just massacre.
See, that is a prediction.
Hell yeah.
That's a bold
And
prediction.
it's correct.
It takes place on a brighter planet.
There will be flowers and stars.
There'll be happiness.
Ravi, your predictions have been there will be a stormtrooper.
Like if I was Ravi right now, my prediction for next week would be Mandalorian survives. If I was Ravi, okay?
Do it.
But I'm not Ravi.
Oh, Mandalorian talks.
Yeah, no. I think my prediction is going to be somebody sees Mandalorian's face. We won't as the audience, but his face will be revealed to somebody on the show.
Pretty good.
Either willingly or unwillingly, but I'm going to guess unwillingly.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Shout out to previous guest on Was It Good for The Mandalorian, Natalie. Her season prediction was Baby Yoda heals the Mandalorian, though he did not heal the Mandalorian.
Wait, might still happen.
Close.
Right, we could
Yeah.
happen. We did still see Baby Yoda / the child heal someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
So
There it is.
something.
That's something.
Our guests are better at predicting than we are.
Sounds like
Better than some people at this table.
children. I think it's that time.
Damn. Ravi,
Oh,
was
shit.
Mandalorian
Oh no.
episode
Oh lordy.
7,
Who, me?
The Reckoning, good?
Yes.
It was?
Yeah, it was
Wow, I'm shocked you said that.
Really?
A little bit.
There were death troopers in it, for fuck's sake. Of course it's good.
But I remember you seeing
Shut up.
Rogue One and being like,
Shut
that
up.
was so bad.
Just
Sorry,
shut
can I ask a question
up.
quickly? What's the difference between the white ones and the black ones?
One's white, one's black. I mean, you just said it.
Jesus.
Okay.
So death troopers are typically they're think of them more as like spec ops or special forces. More hardcore training. They're the best of the best. They have better armor.
And they're taller too, right?
They're taller. They're more lean. They're not your average Joe like run off the mill type of a thing. They're
We
heavy.
technically, we don't even know if they're
voices.
human, really, right?
There's like this whole thing because before Disney bought Star Wars in some random ass like expanded universe comic book line weird thing, the Death Trooper was like a zombie trooper. That was the idea.
Oh,
so
cool.
there was like this theory running around because you never see a Death Trooper removed. I mean, you never see Stormtroopers remove their helmets, but Death Troopers especially, you don't see what's under there. And there was a theory that Death Troopers were actually like animated like dead stormtroopers.
Like Darth
essentially.
Sidious
Okay.
brought them back?
Something
That's
like that.
dope.
Well, that's why I wonder what the Sith troopers are now in Force Awakens because they're
Oh.
all red and stupid.
Yeah, red's dumb.
It's so dumb. It's just to sell me more
Guys,
armor.
my costume
Purple
is
would be
red.
better.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, it works better for a Royal Guard. For a Stormtrooper?
Mercedes
Mm-hmm.
was The Mandalorian Episode 7 good?
Yes.
Whoa, that actually
Wait,
surprised
what?
me. Yeah.
Wow, you said yes? Did we convince you, or you
No.
just knew it was right? Yes.
It was trash for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The last 10 or so, spun it around.
It was 40
Wow.
minutes total. So
40?
Your math is very good.
Well, then 20.
I mean, the last 20.
Well
turned it
done.
around.
Well done on throwing us for a loop. You did
good.
good job.
That's smart.
Good, that's
That's a Triple Frontier troll job you did there.
no.
I learned from the best, Krishna.
Triple Frontier is a good movie. I don't
Stop it.
understand
Stop
what
it.
is wrong with
Just
it.
stop
Would it
this.
make your top 10 movies of 2019?
Of 20, did it come out this year?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Then yes, it would.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't seen every movie, so
You're terrible.
Well, of the movies you've seen.
I will say this:
Is it in your top
I
personal
will
top 10?
of all time?
No, of the 2019.
I think so. I don't remember. I don't remember every movie I've seen this year.
Oh boy.
I will say this: it probably is going to be better than Episode 9. There, I said it. Anyways, Mercedes, you have to ask.
Oh, Arjuna. Was The Mandalorian, The Reckoning, Episode 7 good?
I mean, you got the order incorrect.
I
but,
mean, I tried.
yes, it was good, and it was the best episode of The Mandalorian so far.
Damn, I won't go that far.
I wouldn't either, actually.
No, you're exaggerating.
What's wrong with you?
Just stop.
You're wrong.
I don't. Okay, for me it was you damn trolls. Christian, it was The Mandalorian, Episode 7, The Reckoning. Good.
See, senor.
See?
Yes, it was. It was great.
And would you all watch it again?
I will
Yeah.
watch it again
Yes,
when I binge
probably.
it the whole thing in about 6 months.
Sounds about right.
6 months, more like 6 hours. Am I right?
Mhm.
No.
No.
All right. Who wants to try, who wants to try and hack the app and unlock the 8th episode?
What?
That's not how it works, but good job.
It's probably
like-
it's probably uploaded in their CMS.
It's like hidden.
It probably
it's
is.
hidden in the.
Just
Actually,
in case, no.
honestly, probably not though, because of the.
You think they wait to upload?
Yeah, just because I feel like to avoid maybe leaks or
Too
somebody, hacking or somebody getting the itchy trigger finger.
And also, you have to remember, there's no actual air time. It's just an air date. So they don't have to work. Like, they could literally upload it at 8 a.m. the day of release or whatever. And if there's a problem, they could be like, well, whatever, we'll just re-upload.
Accidente.
So that's
Yeah.
why. That's going to do it for us at Was It Good? We just finished Mandalorian, episode 7. Everyone liked it. Big surprise there.
Actually, it really was, because we thought some people at this table weren't going to
Big
like it.
whoop.
You can follow us on Twitter at Was It Good. You can follow us on Instagram at Was It Good BTM. And on Twitch at twitch.tv/Was It Good. Our next podcast is most likely going to be that great Star Wars Rise of Skywalker life. So be sure to tune into that. Punch that subscribe button and hit that like bullshit.
Like, follow, and subscribe.
Can I ask one more question? Before we go
No,
off
the
air?
fucking podcast is over.
All right.
No,
Go ahead,
let
what-
him
what-
ask.
yeah, what's it?
Real quick, everyone, are you more excited for Rise of Skywalker
No.
or Episode 8 of the Mandalorian?
Episode 8.
I'm going to go Rise of Skywalker.
I'll do episode 8.
I'm gonna say Episode 8 as well.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to know.
That's going to do it. Thank you once again. And as they always say, live long and prosper.
You motherfucker.
Wow. Jesus.
Oh,
Tyrant
get it.
Christ.
Wait, guys, I forgot to hit record the whole time.
I believe you.